It's supposed to be here tonight. That's what his wife told him. I told everybody.
John Rowers, yeah.
It's supposed to be.
Lois said he'd be there. He'd like to do me.
Always subject to change.
If it would have bothered me.
You know, last minute.
It's still pretty good.
Well, Oscars. Al Pacino was talking. I can't believe how terrible he looked.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean, he was a
thing
heartthrob.
on.
Right.
70s.
Yeah, I don't watch TV. I don't watch any TV hardly.
Good evening, sir.
Actually, this week I've watched HGTV a lot.
Oh, did you?
That's about all I watch.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I
You
need to
watch
stay
some
off
home
there.
stuff, home building, right?
Yeah.
My wife watches cooking.
Yeah.
I don't. I should say nope. Probably on the mic, hot mic. Say nothing.
Yeah.
Hear you.
Okay, 7 o'clock. Like call meeting to order. Roll call.
Barlow. Here. Bowers. Brem.
Here.
Furl.
Yes.
Jarvis.
Here.
Klein.
Here.
Nesbit.
Here.
Rezegi.
Here.
Tassava.
Here. Entertain a motion to excuse member Bowers.
So moved.
Motion by Brem, support by Nesbit. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Okay, please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda. Any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Support.
Okay, motion by McLean, supported by Jarvis to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. In your packet also, you have the minutes of the February 26, 2024 regular meeting. Any additions or corrections to that? Entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the February 26, 2024 regular meeting minutes.
Support.
Motion by Jarvis, supported by Barlow, to approve the minutes of the February 26, 2024 meeting minutes. Discussion? Roll call.
Barlow.
Here, yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Furl.
Yes.
Jarvis.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Nesbit.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Public hearing, we have none. Public comment. Anybody here want to address the council? I'll give you 3 minutes. Tell me who you are. Nobody. Okay, formal recognitions and presentations. We have a presentation from Dave Hatfield, the Berry County Board Vice Chair, our city representative. All around nice guy.
Yes, all those things. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You can do my introductions anytime.
Okay.
Just a few things to bring you up to date on. As I'm sure most of you have heard, there were at least a few voting irregularities that took place at the polls last week, principally in Irving Township. I don't know most of the details on that, but I'm assuming we'll have a full report tomorrow, although that really falls under issues of concern for the clerk, not the commission, since we have no actual control over voting activities. At our last meeting, we did approve COA and the county entering into a contract with Eckert Wardell Architects and Engineers to proceed with the planning on the new COA building that will be located adjacent to the Harvest Point project out on at the Manor. The debate over wind and solar certainly continues. At this point, the county commission is going to take the lead on that rather than the county planning commission, although the planning commission will certainly also be involved in it. The Public Service Commission held a Zoom meeting last week that attracted a lot of attention and a lot of comment, a lot of questions. And it's clear that at this point, the Public Service Commission doesn't begin to have the answers that all the municipalities need to have if they're going to effectively comply with the new law and develop a companion set of ordinances. So it'll be very interesting to see where that goes. The County Board's new Personnel Committee will have its first meeting this Thursday. Primary agenda items on that will be holding interviews for a number of board vacancies that exist on the county boards and affiliated organizations. And I'm hoping that we'll also be able to review and finalize the search process that we'll use with Michael Brown's pending retirement sometime late this year. The only other significant item of business that we have tomorrow, and I don't believe it will really be contentious, and we've got the companion set of resolutions dealing with the airport that you have on your agenda for tonight. So I would expect that those will be approved by the county tomorrow. So, any questions? All right, thank you very much.
So, one question, you touched on it for a minute. Are you gonna have a personnel committee? Are you gonna hire somebody to do the search for your replacement for Michael Brown?
Well, we now have put a standing personnel committee in place that will deal with all manner of personnel issues going forward. But they'll also be the lead group on the search. I'm not sure, nothing has been decided yet, but at least I believe what will be proposed is that we will hire an outside search firm. We'll put out an RFP for search firm services with a pretty short time frame on it so that we can get a firm in place and get the process started. As all of you know, that's a time-consuming process, and time is of the essence with this one. Michael's retirement, he'll stay as late in 2024 as we need him to, but he's actually eligible for retirement as early as August, so we need to be moving forward.
Well, he's a great guy. He's gonna be hard to replace, but I'm sure you're up to the task, so.
Well, I certainly hope we're up for the task. It will be very interesting to see what kind of pool of candidates we get, but Michael's been there a long time. He is a wealth of knowledge, and he has certainly provided some very astute leadership to the county, particularly on finance issues. So.
Okay, no other questions of Dave? Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, do we have Justin Smith here?
How are you?
Good. Pull that microphone up close there, Justin.
Yep. Slide. Go to the first one. Yep.
My eyes are like they used to be.
Awesome. Okay. My name is Justin Smith. I'm here to give you an update on Hammond Hill. So, pretty excited about this, honestly. We've been putting in a lot of work. This is a presentation of the grant money and all the volunteer work that we're putting into it. So, slide to I'll just say slide.
Okay.
These are the key points that I'm gonna bring up, a couple of before and after, course stats and testimonials and suggested upgrades. Slide. Before and after slide. So these are some of the pictures, these are some of the construction that we're doing out there, working on erosion control and T-pads. These are stairs to make it much safer, and a lot of the work that we put into it. Slide to the next one. So these are the stairs. This is one of the biggest projects that we wanted to do. The top left-hand side is what it looked like before, and the bottom right-hand side is what it is now, what it is today. So this was a big concern because a lot of people would fall down. It is a big drop. It's about a 110-foot drop. So I wanted to make sure that we had stairs out there, and this is what we came up with. So that was one of my number one priorities, is safety. Slide to the next one. So this is another structure. We get a lot of erosion coming onto the T-pads. So these T-pads, if you don't know, disc golf is our designated spot to throw these discs. So my goal was to try to protect it from erosion and all that stuff. So that's why we have the retaining walls and everything else. The top left-hand side is the starting, and the bottom right-hand side is the finishing. And this is just one hole. So a lot of volunteers have helped me. We've had thousands of volunteers come out there and put a lot of time into this. Slide. So this is a start, beginning. This is a T-pad. This is what we originally started with from the left, and the top picture is the erosion. A lot of the ground just comes up, so we put these retaining walls to prevent that. The far right-hand side is a bench and it being secured, so you won't have the erosion anymore. So this protects it for another 25 to 30 years. Slide. So this is a couple other of the T-pads. There's some finished ones. I wanted to show you both, like the starting and the finishing. The money that we got last year, the nice new shiny T-pads, those are shorts. So we had longs previously. We just put shorts in, and these are some of the ones. So if you look at it, the T-pad is the starting point, and the very end there's a basket, or a hole, you would call it. But yeah, these are some of the examples of the T-pads we put in. We have installed 18 of them this year, or last year. Slide. And these are some miscellaneous. So Chuck helps me out quite a bit. He brings wood chips out there. We try to make this property look really nice. We put wood chips on all of the walk paths. We've removed all the stumps. The top left-hand side, there was probably 30 stumps. We hand removed those, and now it's clear. We can maintain the course better with the stumps being removed. A couple other guys working on a couple of benches on hole 13, and then just showing it what it looks like. So these are just a couple of things. Another big thing I didn't put a picture of was a shed. We put a shelter out there so that we can put the equipment for the volunteers to use. If we have equipment on the course, it's easier for volunteers to come out and make tools accessible, because a lot of people don't want to bring their tools out or damaging them. So I didn't put a picture up because I want to keep it private, so it's kind of hidden out on the course so no one can break into it or anything like that. Slide. So these are our course stats. This is how we stand according to Michigan and the world. We are one of the highest rated courses in Michigan. 4.6 is actually pretty good. 5 is the best, and there's not very many 5s out there. The ratings on the right-hand side are things that we can work on. Upkeep is probably one of the best. Our worst is the amenities, because we just have a porta-john out there. So that's all we have. We need to hopefully someday better that. But other than that, our scenery is really good. T-pads, shot variety, we're pretty high on the standings. Slide. This is really fun. So I get a yearly view. So I'm on UDisc, which is a course ambassador. I get to see where everybody comes from and plays. So for example, we had 14,000 people come and play this course in a 4-year span. And I could tell you how many people showed up monthly. For example, this month I have 398 people that have already played in March. I had 376 that played in February. I had 277 that played in January. So, and this is just people using UDisc. Not everybody uses UDisc. So this is something that's new, but it keeps track of where people are coming from. We had a person come from Sweden. We've had people come from all over. We've had 400 people just drive 50 kilometers away to come and play this course. So I just wanted to show like how many people we're attracting and where we're attracting from. We've had people come from 27 different states, and I think that's pretty cool in my opinion. So yeah, slide. These are the testimonials. These are reviews like that you can see on UDisc. These are what people are saying about the course. We have, yeah, I don't need to read them out loud, but they're 5 out of 5. So there are a lot of people are just love the maintenance and the upkeep. You can slide again. Just astounding reviews. One of the best. Some of them saying that's pro level, and some of them saying the best maintained course in Michigan. So we put a lot. We probably put over 1,500 hours into that course volunteering. It probably is well more than that. So, and myself, I put in probably about 2,000. So, slide. And then these are some of the suggested upgrades that would help with those ratings. I know I've discussed this a little bit with the extended parking lot. We have big events. We have the potential of holding 700 to 1,000 player events. So, but we can't do that with the parking that we have or the amenities that we have out there. So a pavilion would be awesome, a permanent bathroom. I know we've discussed that and we've looked at outsourcing that. Running water, a kiosk. Kiosk would be awesome to help with the bike trail, the walk trail, and the disc golf course. So those are some of the things that would help make it better, but you know, it's not a necessity. Obviously the course is up and running without them, but it would be better if we could. So, and that's about it. I'd like to do these updates once every 6 months, just kind of show you guys what's going on out there, because it's a gem. It's a beautiful piece of property. So, and I'm on track. Last time I came here, you guys approved my back 18 layout. I have a rough draft of a 9-hole getting ready to get installed this probably within a month or so. So I'm going to have people start playing it. It's not going to be permanent. It's just the starting point. So I need to have people play it, figure out, okay, is this work or do we need to change or anything like that. So, but yeah, any questions? Yes, sir.
Not a question, statement. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know, the work you're putting into it for the city and the county. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have any issues with vandalism out there?
No, currently, right. So we did a couple years ago. People would write on our bands and stuff, our baskets, but we were able to clean it and stop it. But with so I have hidden cameras out there. So I have a couple hidden by the shelter out there and one up by the parking lot to help with people with donuts. And with the cops coming out there later at night, it's been great. It's actually dropped dramatically. We've had 2 baskets stolen. We did recently have a little chainsaw stolen. It was in the shed, but it was our responsibility. It wasn't locked and it happened to be open. But we have a view of the person. I did put a report in. I didn't get a follow-up, but it was not much damage, really, in my opinion. It was just a chainsaw, but not really to answer that question. It's been actually pretty great. We do a great job. We're one of the only courses that have trash bins and benches on every single hole so that people don't litter. We try to make it look beautiful. That's the whole point. But yeah, no vandalism so far. No big thing. Other than we had one of the what do you call the bathrooms burned down, but we haven't had that since 3 years? Yeah, the porta-john, sorry.
I remember that.
Yeah, we had one of those. So, but yeah, other than that, it's going pretty good. So,
any other questions? Thanks, Justin.
Yep, thank you guys.
Okay, next up, items for action by unanimous consent. In your packet, you have 5 invoices totaling $493,281.65 as detailed in your attachments, and these are all already budgeted items. It's just showing you that that these are complete. Do I hear a motion to receive and place on file?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by Barlow, to receive and place on file 7 invoices totaling $493,281.65 as detailed in your attachment. Any questions? Roll call.
Brown,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, item 10, entertain a motion to authorize the airport board to spend $200,000 as match for a federal grant to reconstruct the airport terminal. Do I hear a motion?
Make that motion. Support.
Motion by Nesbit, supported by Rezegi, to authorize the airport board to spend $200,000 as a match for a federal grant to reconstruct the airport terminal. Questions?
I had a question. When reading this earlier, Larry Baum was going to supply the match money. The family no longer wants to do that, or was that?
Well, Mark Noteboom. Yeah, we've been working on this for about 3.5, 4 years, this grant, and Larry had committed to taking care of this, but, you know, the family all has their different things that they donate to, and with everything that's going on, you know, I think that ship has sailed, so we just, you know, if Larry was standing here, he'd say, do it, you know, he's put $3-4 million into that place and helped us grow it, so, you know, we just need to step up to the plate and get this done, so.
This building is 1,500 square feet?
The new one's gonna
The new
probably
one?
be more close to 1,700 square foot.
1,700 square
Yeah.
feet for $1.8 million?
Makes
you feel better about the bathroom we're gonna
Yes,
build
it does.
for $150,000.
You know, we all
I
know
can't believe these costs.
it's not really the cost of the building itself, most people that's been in this situation know what happens when you go to the feds or the government and you're gonna do something, it's 2 to 3 times what it costs, and that's just the way it is. You know, the engineer fees are gonna be $300,000. You know, they get a certain amount of the money. If it was $5 million, they would get $600,000 just because they get 10%, 11% of the cost. So, and it's things that if we did it ourselves, we wouldn't have to do the soil borings and stuff like that. The soil borings were done today, and that cost $10,000 just to get those done. If we don't do that, we won't get the grant. So they have certain things we have to follow. And the architects and engineers that do this, you know, they're used to the state and the federal and what they have to do, so it's actually cheaper to have them do it than an outsider keep going back. But, yeah, it's a long process, and we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, the general public's got to understand that when, you know, we are held to a different standard in government, by the government,
Yeah.
but,
Because I'm a contractor, my stomach gets in a knot knowing how much this is, but that's what we got to do.
right.
And just for you people to understand that this is the 4th year. The first 2 grants, this is a BIL grant, and it's just for airport terminals across the U.S. Probably 2% of that money went to general aviation like we are. Most of it went to Grand Rapids and they get $50-60 million to do their parking lots. And so last year we had to spend, I think it was $34,000, Dave. We had to spend our money to get a terminal study done, a feasibility study. And we knew if we didn't do that, we wouldn't have a chance, but we did it anyway. We did get our money back because we did it. We got reimbursed. But with that study, MDOT through Michigan, they recommend that if anybody got it in this state, it was us. And I didn't think we'd get it. I really didn't, but we did. And because where Larry was at, the initial thing was going to be, I'm going to just let you know, 2.7 million. That was, and the grant was 1.8, but he was going to make up the rest. Because there's things in the building that don't qualify for it, like an office and stairways, and we have to pay for that. So what the federal government decided to do, and they normally don't do this because they're sympathetic to our position with what happened to Larry. They're willing to work with us, so we're downscaling the whole project so we can fit this in, and that's what we're doing. So, and they're working on it right now. So that's where we're at.
Any other questions?
I have another question. It's not necessarily
Sure.
just pertaining to this new terminal. What kind of traffic do we see in the airport? Is it more, are we seeing more like business type stuff, people flying in for that, or is it still just,
Nope.
people with small planes?
No, there's a lot, most businesses around the county use that airport for parts or meetings or what have you. And it's pretty busy that way. We get a lot of training there, and we train a lot of pilots there. A lot of them go to the armed forces. We've got a lot of people that started here, went there. And, your medevac, your lifesavers, they're in there at least once a day now. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they always use the terminal, but it's a big asset to this county community. It's huge.
And it's very seldom, how many hangars we got out there?
Yeah, well, when we started 14 years ago, we had 17 airplanes. We now have 97. And we probably figure $3.5 to $4 million in this infrastructure out there in buildings and hangars, and that's where we make our money. So, yeah, it's been a haul, but we're there.
So what this motion would allow us tonight, the airport board's already voted on this, but we have $400,000 in our fund balance, and we don't want to spend down any more than $200,000. So that's what this is about. Anything over, and with the city and county's purchasing policy, anything over $3,000 or $5,000 has to come to the county and the city. That's why that's here tonight. Any other questions?
Just wanted to state, this is airport board money they want to spend their money.
This
of
one here is, right?
Yeah, the 200,000.
The next one will follow a different.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by Nesbeth and support by Rezegi to authorize the airport board to spend $200,000 as a match for a federal grant to reconstruct the airport terminal. If there's no other questions, roll call.
Burrow,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Rossiter,
Yes.
and Brown.
Yes.
Sorry, Drew.
You can tell the guy's a rookie.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, next item, entertain a motion to adopt resolution 2024-04 to authorize a loan from the city of Hastings General Fund to the airport board.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion by Rezegi, support by Nesbit. Brown. Nesbit? Okay, motion made by Rezegi, supported by Nesbit to adopt resolution 2024-04 to authorize a loan from the city of Hastings General Fund to the airport fund. Questions?
I didn't see how many years. I just seen that there were 12,500 a year. How many years?
Yeah, it's 10 years, I think.
10?
You want to explain that, Chris? Chris got it all figured out.
Per the city manager, it looks like the loan will be paid back in $12,500 increments until it's paid in full, so a $100,000 loan, that would be 8 years. It will come from our general fund balance, which at the end of fiscal year 2003, we had $4 million, so there is funding available in that fund balance to cover this, and the money, when it's repaid, will go right back into our fund balance.
This is different than giving them the money. They're going to borrow it and pay us back, and it'll be the same situation with the county tomorrow. So,
Okay.
Any other questions? Roll call.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, this next one, it'll be the last one. To entertain a motion to authorize the airport board to spend $10,000 to prepare a study required for the airport terminal grant. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Barlow,
Support.
supported by Jarvis. To authorize the airport board to spend $10,000 to prepare a study required for the airport terminal grant. And this is just what I said a few minutes ago. It's over $5,000, so they have to have our approval, even though the board has already approved it. Questions?
Dave, that up to 10,000 for, it's an IFE, it's an independent fee estimate for our engineers and architects give us a price on this building. And since last year, the Fed started, you're gonna have somebody else double check your work, so we make sure everything's up. So that up to 10,000, it looks like it's gonna be about 8,000 this time. There'll actually be two of these if we go later, but that money goes toward our share of the building. In other words, if we owe 200,000, we'll get that money, we'll pay 190. So they're gonna pay for that, but we gotta pay for this up front. But there will be two of them, there'll be one later, so.
Okay, any questions? Roll call.
McLean.
Yes.
Nesbit.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
Brennan.
Yes.
Furl.
Yes.
Jarvis.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. I had asked Mark to give you a little bit of a presentation. We really don't need it, but I'd still like to have him do it. Up until, what, 8 years ago, the city was paying $49,000 and the county was paying $49,000 to run the airport.
Yeah,
What happened 8 years ago?
well, we started, first we tried to get I'll go through a little history.
Okay.
When I took this over, actually, the city and the county wanted to kind of shut this up. They didn't want to fund it anymore. And being as I was involved with that, well, you couldn't do it anyway. The feds wouldn't let you do it. So when I took over, I knew we could be self-sufficient, but we had to get some money to get started, so we tried a millage first. And we only had 60 days. We didn't pass, but we got 3,800 votes, which was pretty good. So we knew people were interested. At that time, we didn't pass. Larry came forward. That's when Larry started in. And he said, what do we need? And I said, we got to have hangars. So he basically hired me to get a contractor to put up the hangars. And I did. And I did such a nice job. We did it again the next year because he trusted us with his money and to do things right. So we set up a kind of a contract with the city and the county that if we were going to get this thing self-sufficient, that they had to commit for, I think, 3 years, 4 years, Dave?
Yeah.
At 48,000 or 59,000 so we could get this going, or it was 5 years. Well, in 3.5 years, we got it self-sufficient. And the 4th year, we still kept your money, but after that, the county and the city have not given a dime for 8 years. It's been self-sufficient, and this hurts me to have to come here to get this 100,000, but, you know, it's your building, it's your airport, and it's a gem, and you should come out and see it. But yeah, we've done a lot of work and put a lot of hard work in there. I miss my buddy and our friend, but we got to keep going forward. So.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve on the direction of staff the request from the Hastings Downtown Business Team to hold Spring Girls Night Out on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and adopt resolution 2024-05 to state the necessary ordinances. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Okay, a motion made by McLean, supported by Furl, to approve under the direction of staff the request from the Hastings Downtown Business Team to hold Spring Girls Night Out on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024 from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. and adopt resolution 2024-05 to say the necessary ordinances. Any questions? We have somebody here, I think. Maybe two. No, he's for something else. Corinne, anybody have any questions of the Downtown Business Team? We have a representative here.
Do you have a theme, Corinne?
Yes, we do. It is pretty in pink.
Pretty in pink.
Yes.
Pretty in pink. No guys invited, right?
Well, you're more than welcome to come, so there'll be a lot of ladies.
If you wear pink.
Pink is actually my favorite color, but I don't wear it.
Green.
Come on, it'd be fun, right? Special guest
I
appearance.
didn't know that.
It looks good on my wife, not me.
Do you have any different activities planned for this year, or?
We're gonna do a scavenger hunt this spring, so stop into the businesses and take a picture with something pink. We're still working through some of the scavenger hunt things, but we'll be doing a scavenger hunt. So.
Nice.
All you need is our approval and good weather.
With the scavenger hunt?
With girls' night out. Okay, any other questions? Get that phone off.
For you, Dan.
You know, and I usually put the phone message up too.
Roll call.
Councilmember Nesbitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Rezegi.
Yes.
Councilmember Barlow,
Yes.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Furrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Jarvis,
Yes.
Councilmember McLean.
Yes.
Mayor Tosical.
Yes. Okay, next item up, entertain a motion to approve under direction of staff the request from the Hastings Downtown Business Team to conduct 3 separate block parties, street dances from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, June 8th, Saturday, July 13th, and Saturday, August 10th, 2024, and consent to street closures on the respective dates.
So moved.
Motion by Nesbitt,
Support.
supported by McLean, to approve under direction of staff the request from Hastings Downtown Business Team to conduct 3 separate block party street dances from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. on Saturday, June 8th, Saturday, July 13th, and Saturday, August 10th, 2024, and consent to street closures on the respective dates. We have a motion and support. Do I, questions?
Yeah, I have a question. You got a question?
No, well, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
They got somebody here to answer the question.
Is that you, Corinne?
No, it's just
Oh.
this young man over here
Brian?
with the,
Okay.
tell us who you are.
My name is Brian Reynolds, and it's kind of my idea to do this, so I guess I'm here to answer any questions you might have. I do hope that you had the time to read through the narrative that I put together on this. The idea here is to promote the Hastings Social District, which really has never taken off, and with a little bit of promotion and so on, it could probably thrive and be a good thing for our downtown businesses. The idea is to have the social district via the downtown business team actually sponsor this. In other words, the social district would be the centerpiece of the events. The host would introduce the people who come down to and invite them to get their dinner and their walkabout drinks at the local, central business district places of business. We have 3 businesses currently that have the license for sale of walkabout drinks, and that would be the Sports Tap and Waldorf and Seasonal Grill. And we certainly could use more. I sure hope that when the other businesses downtown that sell drinks, when they see what a thriving business the other businesses are doing, I hope that they would join in as well. The idea also is to promote the variety of things that can be done. You could have a Mexican dinner from Mexican Connection and a margarita from across the street.
You could have beer from Hungry Howie's and a beer from Waldorf and pizza from Hungry Howie's. So the whole idea here is to promote the many possibilities that the social district would present, but also to cross-promote the local businesses that are not restaurants or taverns. There's lots of other businesses that would benefit from the pedestrian traffic, and we intend to point out and promote those businesses as well. So we see this as a great way to draw interest in downtown Hastings from people who might not otherwise come to Hastings. It will require some promotion, and that can be done via newspaper advertising, perhaps some radio advertising on WBCH, and hopefully a lot of social media advertising as well. What we hope to do, quite honestly, we want to get our own Hastings residents downtown, but even more than that, we hope to get people from outside of Hastings to come and visit and see what a great place we have here. And so we think that the best way to do that is to have a fun event right square in the middle of the central business district. Not just one fun event, but a series of fun events. Why do you have to do this more than once? Well, because repetition works when it comes to promotion and advertising. That's why you still see Coca-Cola signs everywhere, because repetition works. And so that's the basic idea. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Or did you answer it?
No, he didn't. Well, maybe I missed it, but are any of the local businesses that are not normally open on Saturdays going to be open later in the evening during this event?
We certainly hope so, and the one that I know of that has expressed interest in that is the general store there on South Jefferson. I haven't personally talked to any other businesses, but we hope that's the case, and those businesses that stay open on Saturday, again, the MC, and quite honestly, that's most likely to be me, okay? The MC will say, oh, by the way, general store is staying open just for you folks, okay? Why don't you go see what they got, Yes.
Why don't you close it off at Court Street instead of having people pull in and then backing out? We know if you live here, you go through the alley.
Yeah.
You don't want cars going in the same opposite directions in the alley either.
Well, let's just say that we want to start small and grow into something like that. We hope that the next iteration of this, which would, we hope to do this again next year.
I just wondered why not.
Yeah, and could it become bigger than it is? Bigger than we propose? We certainly hope it does, yeah. We hope that, quite honestly, we hope that this becomes so big that we have to move it out onto State Street and take up the whole block in front of Norm's shop there, So, that's
Buy some flowers.
we have big hopes, but we want to start out small.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Isn't that where it's going to be, on State Street?
The traffic will not be impeded on State Street at all. The barricades will be right behind the crosswalk across Jefferson Street at State Street, and then a half a block to the south, not quite a half a block to the south, but just north of the alleyway. So traffic will be maintained through the alley and through Jefferson Street for the south half of that block.
Okay.
It's only for a half a block that we would be blocking traffic for the event.
Okay.
Any other questions? We have a motion and support. Roll call, Dan.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Tassett.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on, entertain a motion to approve under direction of staff the 13th annual Very Berry Family Event to be held in Titan Park, utilizing the entire park and both pavilions on Saturday, June 8th, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support. Okay, motion made by Rezegi, supported by Nesbitt, to approve under direction of staff the 13th annual Very Berry Family Event to be held in Titan Park, utilizing the entire park and both pavilions on Saturday, June 8th, 2024, from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. Any questions?
Yes, Brim actually supported that, not myself.
You guys sound so much alike.
I'll try to be different.
I'll look and see which one, hold your hands up. Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by Brim, to approve under direction of staff the 13th annual Very Berry Family Event to be held in Titan Park, utilizing the entire park and both pavilions on Saturday, June 8, 2024, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Discussion. This is exactly the same event they've been doing for the last 13, I think COVID they didn't do it, but roughly 13 years, so. Normally they're here, but.
I can probably answer questions if any.
Anybody got any questions of Peggy? She's sitting over there quiet, just getting ready to talk, so. Okay, no further questions, roll call.
Barlow.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Furl.
Yes.
Jarvis.
Yes.
Klein.
Yes.
Nesbit.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, next item, consider adopting the 2024 capital improvement plan. You want to talk about this before I hear a motion?
Sir, Mr. Mayor, members of council, tonight in front of you, you have the city's 6-year capital improvement plan. This is a 6-year plan of infrastructure improvements throughout the city of Hastings. Just a little summary information for you. These improvements are improvements that are greater than $10,000. And what this plan does is it represents the city's priorities for infrastructure. It's important to note that the plan is feasible. It will require action on your part this year and in future years regarding bonds and low interest loans and grant applications, but it is a feasible plan. Some of the funding in this plan is already secured. Some of it will be applied for, and some of it is not fully known at this time. And what we're going to ask you to do after I kind of go through and give you a quick summary of the different sections of the plan is we're going to ask you to approve the plan and its prioritization of the projects. You won't approve any funding tonight. The funding will be approved as part of the fiscal year 25 budget that will be coming in April and May. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that what we're going to be approving tonight is the prioritization of the projects through this plan. So I'm going to have Mr. King go through and I'll pull up some of these summary slides and I'll give you some information on them. Can we go back to them? So this first slide represents, the pie chart represents the total project cost of the plan over the 6 years, $66.4 million. You can see that 3 of the categories make up approximately 90% of the plan, which are the water and sewer projects, our emergency services, and then our streets project. Like I said, about 9 out of $10 we're going to spend are associated in those 3 categories. And I should note that if you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to interrupt me and we'll do our best, myself or other staff, to answer your questions. Moving on to the next page. This represents our plan spending by year. I want to talk about fiscal year 25 first, $12.6 million. Most of this will be from non-general fund sources, our roads funds, likely low interest loans or bonds in our water and sewer funds, our our TIF downtown development funds. Our general fund contribution will likely be somewhere between $750 and $1 million, based on potentially some of the private contributions we get for the Tanglewood project, Tangletown project. This is about the same amount as last year, so we're not looking at a really big impact to our general fund. It also includes like our equipment fund, so some of the equipment you're going to see detailed here in a little bit will come from that fund. But of the $12 million, the majority of it is not from the general fund. I'll just point out 2027 and 28. We have a high planned project cost in those years. Those are mostly associated with water and sewer infrastructure projects, which also involve some street improvements as well, because as we're going to replace the sewer lines, that would be a good time to also improve the streets in those areas. And then in fiscal year 28, that is the year that we have pushed out the fire building replacement or emergency services building to at the current time. So what we're going to do is get into the different sections. I'm going to mainly focus on fiscal year 25, because that's what you'll be approving here in about a month and a half. But hit some highlights in the out years as well. So first is our general services area. This is kind of like our city hall, but also things like our phone system, our compost site. In fiscal year 25, we're going to be doing some work at the compost facility, $20,000, so not a whole lot in fiscal year 25. That will come from the city's general fund. Total $395,000, that's less than 1% of the total over the 6-year plan. You can see in the out years we'll be upgrading the elevators here in City Hall and making some other smaller City Hall improvements. Moving on, these are our Parks and Recreation project as prioritized in the plan. It's about $2 million, so about 3% of the total plan. In fiscal year 25, you'll see the $1.125 million. Going through that, we have some our ARPA funds associated with the fish hatchery project, where we'll have some general fund dollars to match that. For Tangletown, we'll have hopefully get some grants and private donations that will supplement the general fund. So you can see right there, that's about the majority of the plan. Some minor improvements at Sweezy's Pond and pickleball courts at Bob King Park. Moving the out years, I just want to call your attention to fiscal year 27 and 28 near the bottom. We heard the presentation on Hammond Hill earlier tonight, and you saw the great improvements we made out there to that infrastructure. This plan does involve a green restroom out there in fiscal year 27 and an expansion of the parking lot in fiscal year 28. Again, these are improvements that Mr. Smith had noted earlier, but also will help build that facility up to kind of be a tourism driver for potential tournaments to be held at that site. So I wanted to point that out since that was mentioned earlier. We'll move on to the library. I know that our library director is very happy that we are having 2 major capital projects being taken care of in the current fiscal year with the windows and the HVAC. So as you can see, over the 6-year period, total cost of $190,000, less than 1% of the total CIP. And we're talking about some minor roof repairs in 2025 with a little more significant roof repairs in 2028. These funds will all come from the library fund, maybe even additional donations, but no general fund dollars here. It's all the library fund. Okay, our next, this actually goes on for 2 pages. These are our water and sewer projects. They're $36.9 million, or 56% of the total CIP. You've already begun the process of looking to fund these projects when you approved the 5-year rate plan for the water and sewer fund last year. So each year those will incrementally change a little bit. They're going to be used on a cash basis, but also to leverage what will hope to be some low interest loans and some bonds. If there's grants available, I know the city manager will be looking at those as well. But we're already starting the process of how do we fund these infrastructure improvements through that rate structure. Talk about fiscal year 25, because 7.3 million of the 8.4 million is associated with one project, and that's the Green Street, Market Street sanitary sewer improvement project. You've already approved money to begin design on that project, and Mr. Tate is already out working with our consultants on that project. The other projects represent about $1.1 million. Two of the more significant are projects that have been going on for a while. One will keep going, that's our lead line service replacements. That's $350,000 in fiscal year 25. And over this 6-year period, $1.3 million, although this project will continue for many years after the 6-year period. And then our water meter replacements, we're getting all our old meters replaced. We're getting meters that you can read, radio read meters, making it more efficient for Mr. Tate's staff to go out and get the reads on the meter, more reliable meters. That's $200,000 there. And then the balance of the funds are just the regular capital needs you have when you operate a wastewater and water treatment plant. Again, this will be the biggest area of infrastructure needs over the 6-year period. Next, we have our streets, which represent 11% or $6.7 million in spending over the 6 years. In fiscal year 25, it's $1.026 million. We do have a larger project, the mill and resurfacing of East State Street. We are expecting, or we will get a state urban grant for that of $375,000. So the balance of that will be coming from the city's roads funds. The remainder of that are funding that has been in the roads funds already. You're talking about your chip sealing, some of the traffic signs, some regular maintenance like for the Michigan Avenue Bridge, concrete repairs to our sidewalk, curb and gutter, things like that. Things that we've already been doing and continue to do. We don't have the money to do the really big replacements, so it's important that we try to maintain our infrastructure, especially our streets infrastructure, sidewalk infrastructure, make it as functional as possible until the large state money is available to us and we can do the reconstructions. Some of the other work in the out years, as I mentioned, is tied to our sanitary sewer work. As we do that work, we can get the roads fixed at the same time, making those projects a little more efficient and cost effective.
I got a question before you go any farther. I should ask it a minute ago. When we're talking about lead water services, $300,000 next year, are we going to get any money back from the state for any of that? Or have we gotten any money back for what we've done already?
I'll answer that question, Mr. Mayor. We have not gotten any funding to replace the lead lines. And I've heard of rumors that we will get funding someday, but that has not been announced yet.
Well, it's a good time to bring it up because I've got to go to Lansing for 2 days this week, and I'll meet with Senator Albert and a few other people and see what we can do. Okay. So that's roughly, what is that, about 15,000 for every one of those we do? Because we're putting in all new copper from the main all the way into the house, plus we're putting in new meters, so.
Yeah, if you include our materials, we have to hire a plumbing contractor to work inside the house, and then all of our staff's time and equipment rental. It's probably not quite 15,000. It's probably a little less than that.
But it's another unfunded mandate that we have to do.
It's unfunded mandate that we had to include in our water and sewer rate funding.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, the next is the cemetery. We did the paving of the roads out at the cemetery last fiscal year, early in the fiscal year, so that's been taken care of. So the only project right now in the cemetery is the memorial project. You've approved that conceptual design and phase 1 of that project. And the advisory board's meeting on Wednesday to get an update from Mr. Tate regarding the full-scale design and construction documents for phase 1, and we'll have an update for you soon. The rest of the project will be as funds become available, and hopefully we continue to get some donations for this, leverage some Berry Community Foundation funds in order to complete all the phases of the project. Next are TIF funds. These are really funds associated with the DDA. In fiscal year 25, we have parking lot 8. This is actually, the funding's actually in the current year budget. We thought we were going to be able to get it done this year. However, it's not going to happen this year, so really this funding is just going to get carried over from fiscal year 24 to 25 with the costs updated based on revised estimates for these types of projects. In the out years, we're going to look at the street light replacements and sidewalk improvements. The street lights will be the ones that are not on State Street that are being replaced as part of the streetscaping project. These will be the ones on the side streets, and that will match what we have on our streetscape. And then the sidewalk improvements, we hope to make improvements as needed downtown to improve that infrastructure, especially as we hope that the streetscape will bring more people to the downtown area to visit, shop, eat, go to block parties, all of those things. Again, this is a small amount in the CIP. It's about $1.05 million, or maybe 1.5% of the total funding. Okay, next are our emergency services. These are our police and fire infrastructure needs. They constitute about 23% of the plan, or $15.03 million over the 6 years. For fiscal year 25, we have $125,000 planned for the police department, vehicle replacements, some workspace updates that are needed here right across the hall, and our radar trailer, getting that replaced. For the fire department, about $43,000 for just some basic equipment such as nozzles, chainsaws, turnout gear, radios, things like that. The biggest expense in this plan for fiscal year 25 is the engine replacement, but that is Birch owned and will be replaced by Birch proceeds, so the city won't have any funding in that. The police and fire department, that $167,000, that will all be part of the general fund budget that we will bring to you here in about a month and a half. In the out years, the two biggest expenses you can see in fiscal year 28, we've moved that emergency services building construction. That's one of the areas where we need to do a little more work on the potential funding sources for that. And then in fiscal year 29, we have the aerial truck replacement scheduled. Again, another big expense at $1.9 million. The city will likely pay for most of that due to the fact that the city is really the only place you're going to use that truck, but we have a number of years to figure out the funding plan for that. And then our final section is our equipment and motor pool. We've made some significant progress with getting our equipment updated over the last couple years, and we still have more to do. As you can see in fiscal year 25, $874,000 is planned, and the whole 6-year plan is $3.7 million, or about 6% of the total costs. In fiscal year 25, you can see some of the bigger replacements, a dump truck, a couple dump trucks in that year. Moving in the out year, we have things like a Vector truck replacement and a sweeper truck that, as we look at budgets for those years, we may consider doing a capital lease like we did with our current Vector truck in order to smooth out those costs a little bit as we go through the plan. Those are items that will be decided in future years. But this is really addressing some of the backlog we've had in our equipment. Things like the superintendent's vehicles that are on here, the gross might be $874,000, but we will sell those. The proceeds will be invested back into the equipment fund, so that the net cost to the equipment fund will likely be less than what you see on this page right here. That's all the sections with the highlights for fiscal year 25. This doesn't include everything that was submitted. The city manager went through, reviewed all the requests, and worked with department heads, and some things weren't submitted. I don't have that list, but I know for a fact that not everything that was asked for is on this plan. She prioritized the infrastructure needs and came up with this plan. Again, we feel like it's a feasible plan. Fiscal year 25 will be reflected in the budget that you'll see coming to you. I'll be glad to answer any questions or
I'm going to ask for a motion first. I'm going to ask for a motion. Entertain a motion to adopt the 2024 capital improvement plan.
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion by Barlow, supported by Rezegi, to adopt the 2024 capital improvement plan. Now we'll ask questions. Anybody have any questions of Chris? I'm glad we have money in there for seal coating this year. I think it's long past due.
Yes.
There's some big ticket items on there. Well, simple little thing like the supervisor's trucks. That's kind of a wash anyhow, because what happens, you buy them, it says they're, I don't remember what the price was, $60,000, but then you sell them after you've had them a year and you get that money back. So that's kind of a wash. So and everything we do, we have to have that in there, as if we're buying it out of our pocket, you know. But any other questions of Chris? And anybody wants to come in and sit down with Chris, Chris can go over the stuff with you also. So.
The full document was included in your packet, is posted online for yourself or anybody to review, and myself, or when I'm sure the city manager gets back, would be glad to go into detail with anything in that plan.
Okay, no further questions. We have a motion by Barlow, support by Rezegi. I didn't finish his name. Okay, to adopt the 2024 capital improvement plan. No further questions. Roll call.
Brown.
Yes.
Pearl.
Yes.
Jarvis.
Yes.
McLean.
Yes.
Nesbitt.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Barlow.
Yes.
And Tassel.
Yes. Okay, next item. Our city manager has been in discussion with Larry Watson, Rutland Township Supervisor, about a chance of maybe having residents around Algonquin Lake use our landfill, our compost site, to dump some of theirs, because they all have small yards and no place to put them. So I entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-06 to authorize acceptance of yard waste by certain non-residents and set fees for service. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Support.
Motion by McLean, supported by Furl, to adopt Resolution 2024-06 to authorize acceptance of yard waste by certain non-residents and to set fees for service. Questions? Go ahead.
This isn't going to affect any regulations by Eagle, and I can't remember what regulations they are, but there was some compost that had to be deteriorated in so many years or that kind of stuff, where we can only have so much out there, that type of thing.
I can answer that. I don't think so. We don't know how much volume we're going to get, but the bulk of the volume comes when our leaf and brush pickup in the spring and the fall. It's not really the compost site itself with people dropping it off in the city. So I don't anticipate that it's going to affect our, we have to stay under 10,000 cubic yards
That's
of
what
material.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So I don't anticipate that, but we'll keep track.
Thank you.
Nice thing about this, when it was first proposed, I was a little hesitant myself because of my history working for the street department. And we had issues with people dumping out there that didn't live in the city. This proposal here would help ease that issue. You know, I don't think we have anybody coming out of the city because we have people out there. And right now, the way it's manned on Mondays and Saturdays, we're paying the bulk of the expense for manpower to be out there and equipment. Well, now if we charge the Rutland Township, and I don't think they're gonna be breaking our door down to get in there. I think what's gonna happen is we'll recoup part of our expenses for doing that out there. You know, we're gonna have exactly the same hours. They're gonna charge anywhere from $10 to $20, depending on how much they bring out there. It depends on what ticket they buy. If they buy the small ticket, they can only bring a few bags out there. And it's still gonna be just like the citizens of Hastings. You can't put anything in a garbage bag. It has to be in a compostable bag. There's still regulations we're gonna make them adhere to. And talking to Sarah, you know, she's pretty much agreed with it. She's recommending it, but we're going to try it for a year, and if it doesn't work out, if this process gets abused or it just doesn't work out, we'll go back to the way it was. You know. So anyhow, any other questions? Okay, we have a motion by McLean, supported by Furl, to adopt Resolution 2024-06 and authorize acceptance of yard waste by certain non-residents and set fees for service. Roll call.
Burl,
Yes.
Jarvis.
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, entertain a motion to adopt Resolution 2024-07 to allow the mayor and the clerk to enter into a sales listing agreement with Miller Real Estate for the sale of vacant industrial property located on Star School Road and authorize the city manager to negotiate a purchase and development agreement. Do I hear a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Brem,
Support.
supported by Nesbit. Did I get it right that time, Al?
The team.
Yes.
Motion by Brem, supported by Nesbit, to adopt Resolution 2024-07 to allow mayor and clerk to enter into a sales listing agreement with Miller Real Estate for the sale of vacant industrial property located on Star School Road and authorize the city manager to negotiate a purchase and development agreement. Questions?
So this is the property that we authorized a month or so ago also, wasn't it? And then the sale, fell through?
Exactly. This is the property that I believe back in January or February, council authorized a one-time sale or a one-time purchase agreement with
Trucking company.
a trucking company, and Pat Dozema was representing that as a one-time listing. Greenridge really, when Pat was with them, council authorized entering to a brokerage agreement with her at that time. That has since expired, so we thought it was obviously time to prepare an RFP for realtor broker services, and Miller Real Estate was the sole respondent to that RFP.
But they already have sales agreement on the property on Star School Road up towards Cody Stamping, right?
Correct. They had the listing agreement on 1500 Star School Road, more south on Star School Road. So this will be their second listing agreement.
Questions? Okay, we have a motion and support No further discussion, roll call.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Next item, consider adoption of a contract for spring 2024 lead line replacement with Advantage Plumbing and Drain in the amount of $41,288.63. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Support.
Motion by Barlow, supported by Jarvis, to approve a contract for spring 2024 lead line replacement with Advantage Plumbing and Drain in the amount of $41,288.63. Questions? Roll call.
McLean,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
and Tassava.
Yes. Okay, your next item, entertain a motion to approve security upgrades for both the north and south elevated water storage tanks to be performed by Grand Valley Automation in the amount of $21,235. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support.
Motion by Rezegi, supported by McLean, to approve security upgrades for both the north and south tower water storage tanks to be performed by Grand Valley Automation, CVA, in the amount of $21,235. Questions?
Has there been a problem, or, because we put a fence up and,
No, there's been no problems yet.
yeah.
However, we feel like we would like to have additional security in case somebody tries to climb over the fence, that we would detect that and be able to stop that.
So it's just cameras, basically, or?
No, actually, there's no cameras.
Oh.
It's going to be, it's called ironclad. It's going to be a cable that goes around from the gate all the way, both sides of the gate all the way around the fence. So that if the fence is moved in any way,
A motion detector,
it's going to detect that movement.
and that's sent to the police department then, or?
Yeah, it's sent to who we choose, so it can be the police department during the day and the
Your house.
Barry 911 after hours, or Barry 911 at all the time.
Any other questions? Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by McLean, to approve security upgrades for both the north and south elevated water storage tanks to be performed by Grand Valley Automation in the amount of $21,235. Roll call.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Furl,
Yes.
Jarvis,
Yes.
McLean,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Staff presentations, policy discussions, we have none. City manager report. Do you have a report for the city manager? Chris?
Yes, I do. A couple of items on behalf of the city manager. The first is, and everybody's aware of this, but in the public meeting, the streetscape project has started back up. They're mobilized. Staff is excited about getting that project going again. They're down on the block of the courthouse right now. We'll be moving back towards City Hall. The second item I have is the city manager has worked out a mayor exchange with the city of Allegan. We want to kind of throw the dates out there. I know it's been tough kind of locking down dates on this. And I should, if you're not aware, a mayor exchange would be the mayor, council members who like to participate, the city manager and department heads of both cities visit one another and just kind of learn about what they're doing there. I know the city manager wanted this to be in a time frame that was after our streetscape project would be done, especially when they come over here. So the dates that we have are September 25th 24th. That is a Tuesday, and October 3rd. That is a Thursday. There's some conferences during that time which really made scheduling a little difficult. It hasn't been decided who will go where on what days, but we kind of wanted to get those dates on the schedule so we could begin planning for that. So just going to kind of put that out there to everybody for any comments on those dates.
What was the second date?
October 3rd.
Normally what happens with Mayor Exchange, we'll go, let's say we go to October 3rd, and then they'll, did you say it was with Allegan?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of times what happens, we'll do it like on October 3rd, and then a couple days later, or maybe even the next day, they'll come here October 3rd, and then we'll go there October 4th. But that's, and I know when we first started talking to Allegan, the issue they had with the first part of September was they're the last fair in the state of Michigan, and I think that's the first week. Usually it's the week of school's back in, so I don't know when that's going to be because different schools start different times now. But so that's the plan. She's penciled in the 3rd, September 22nd. Is that what you said?
September 24th and October 3rd.
I read my own writing. Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay. In your packet, you got public service Tate's monthly report. Anything to add to your report, Travis?
Nothing to add.
Any questions of Travis?
I do have a question. Report kind of brought on my water bill. It said that my meter was changed, and my meters are in the basement of my home, and nobody's been in the basement of my home that I know of. How did my meter get changed?
Well, it didn't get changed without your knowledge, so that might be a typo in the bill. I mean, some people might have had that happen.
Well, I heard them doing something outside, but when they read the meter, but don't they?
Oh, this might be the R900s.
It's an R9100.
Yes, those are attached on the outside of the house.
Okay.
So they might have replaced that part of the meter. But usually they have to go inside and connect it to the meter, and it has to have a wiring go to the R900 outside. So unless there was an old R900, I don't see how they could have done it without being inside the house.
I just know it said my meter was replaced, and my wife and I both knew that nobody's been there. So.
Well, I'll look into that.
You know, I should have called and I didn't, but I.
Okay. Any other questions? Also in your report is Chief Jordan's monthly fire report, and Chief Jordan's at a school tonight, so he couldn't be here. If you have any questions, we can get him that information or whatever. Library Director Hemmerling's monthly report. Anything to add, Peggy? Anybody have any questions of Peggy? Library's looking great. Windows are fabulous. And in your packet, you have the City Assessor's report. And as I've always said, if you want anything to know from Debbie, stop in her office or I'll have her come to a meeting. Reports and communications. Item A, February 21st, 2024, YMCA updates for the City of Hastings. Item B, March 4th, 2024, Library Board minutes. Item C, March 2024 calendar. I entertain a motion to accept and place on file items A through C.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Furrow, support by McLean. To accept and place on files item A through C. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Public comment. No public left, except for Brian. Mayor and council comments. I'll go first. It's my privilege to announce tonight that I am running for re-election as mayor. And I've already picked up my paperwork. I'll be out circulating my petition in the next few weeks, and hopefully I have it turned back in. Most of you that are running for re-election have a letter in front of you. And I think you have till 23rd of April to get your petitions turned in, so I am looking forward. You know, I think we've done a lot in the last few years with our new city manager. They've got a pretty good capital improvement plan presented tonight, approved, and I want to hang around and see some of this stuff get done. So I'm running for re-election. Any comments tonight, Bill?
I'm all set. Yeah, actually, when I was interviewed for this seat in that meeting, I was asked what is the most important thing that the city provides, and my response, which visibly shocked some people, was culture. And so I'm really happy to see what you presented, Brian, and the other things that were presented in this meeting, and it's going to be pretty exciting to see it all move forward. So thank you.
Randy?
Nothing?
Al?
Nothing?
Nobody's talking tonight. Okay.
Oh, I do have one.
Go ahead.
Don't forget to say something.
Saturday, between 4 and 4:30, everybody needs to wear your green. Need to line up in the alleyway behind WVCH because we're having our, this 17th annual?
A bunch.
St. Patty's Day Parade, and it's supposed to be above 50 degrees and dry Saturday. So everybody come out. I'll be there, Jackie will be there, John will be there, Mandy will be there, Bill will be there. I'm guessing probably.
Oh, I'll be there.
I'm coming.
Norman will be
I'm just
there.
gonna watch, though. I'm not gonna participate.
Okay. Well, anyhow, it's a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it since last year, and it's and I've always told people this. It's the only time I wear green. But anyhow, if there's nothing else to come before council, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Motion by McLean, supported by
I will.
Harlow. To adjourn, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Good night. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having us.
What time is that? Different, ain't it?
Yes.
Line up 4 o'clock.